So, was there any market research done in how much the R&D for, say, Johnson & Johnson is for this industry?
So we found that the average was around 7%, and that's actually where we delineated our costs. We took 7% of 250,000 to find that that would be an optimal amount put towards research and development.
Okay. As it pertains to the device, so if I'm to understand what I'm looking at correctly, okay, the actual medication, is that inside this tube?
Yeah, so the medical canister would go inside this pump.
So in essence, the medical canister is touching another product, the actual stuff that's inside the canister itself. Is that in any way interacting with this?
So with the design of the original inhaler, it also is coming in contact. So it would be like, so this is the actuator you would get, and this is the canister, and it would be coming in contact with the plastic just as much as it would be coming in contact with the stainless steel.
Okay. Is there FDA approval involved in any product that touches a medical grade inhaler?
So as far as for the joint venture we spoke about, to produce the medicine, not the actuator, you would need a drug license, but to produce the actuator itself, there is no.
So you're confident, so as an example, if I was to create, say, a contact solution, okay, and I had to put, or something that makes like a product come easier out of a bottle, and inside that bottle is a medical grade product, if I even put a drop of H2O in there, okay, technically speaking, that has to go through an entire process again for FDA approval. So what you're saying is, your research, there is nothing you would have to go for any kind of regulatory compliance on this.
So we would have to go through some regulatory compliance, but it wouldn't necessarily be to the extent that you would find in something like a medicinal canister inside. So for this, we'd be working with our joint venture partner to ensure that we're, again, being able to drive through this process as efficiently as possible to get on the market as efficiently as possible.
Cool. And how long do you anticipate that's going to take to get a product on the market and a strategic partnership set up?
So with this strategic partnership, I think we would say that we would get that done within the next 18 months. And while this does seem like a staunch timeline, we do believe that we'd be able to do it, just being that we have the infrastructure and we have the competitive advantage to really be able to do this.
So in 18 months, I start making money because you'd be able to do it through a joint venture?
So within 18 months, you'd be able to work with your with the joint venture company. And
when's $1?
$1 could be brought in within the next 24 to 30 months.
So then where are you making your money in terms of the first unit sold in this plant?
So we would be making our money by 2022.
But that's not what this plan says. Year 1, you have $345,000 in revenue. Year 2, you have $502,000 in revenue. Where's that money coming from?
Right, so that'll be year 1 once we're on the market again.
So in other words, I have to give you money now, but realistically, year 1's really year 3.
Right.
Okay. And last question, you made a comment and said that your target buyer is a 13 to 17-year-old and so forth. When's the last time any of you bought an inhaler yourself?
Well, it's looked more through that pull-through effect that a child might have. So they'll see an ad for it, and then they would convince their parents to buy it for them, similarly to a toy. So these customizable snap applications should pertain to reducing stigma. I have this cool inhaler now that has all these customizable things.
And the 100 people that you asked, what was the demographic of those individuals?
That was 13 to 17 within our high school.
13 to 17 in your high school. Would you say that's a fair demographic assessment of the United States? Or is that a higher buyer profile? I'm having my trouble that I'm trying to get to you guys, and I want to see my time, and I want to make sure the judges get time. I feel like the stigma is something that is a big part of your pitch. Right. That they are, like my young little daughter over there comes to me and says, "Daddy, we have Pokemon, cards in school." That is something that I don't have to worry about all the questions I would have on a medical grade product, whether it touches the actual medical or not. I'm having a hard time understanding how you're going to have that pull-through effect, because I don't see the same sort of Pokemon card versus, hey, my inhaler.
Yeah. So the pull-through effect would be through the snap-on case that you can use to actually decorate the actuator, the thing that covers the actual medicinal canister. So the pull-through effect would happen through the customizability and the individuality that you can produce with this product.
So you're spending all your money basically marketing to a demographic that is not the buyer in hopes that they're going to influence the buyer?
So we're actually we're using the customizability to market towards the age range of 13 to 17, but by utilizing the environmental impact and the environmental factor, you're marketing to the parents and the people that will see the impact that inhalers and products like these are having on our environment. So it's really twofold, and it works in conjunction to make a plant that's able to target both sides.
I'm curious, kind of zooming out, when you're talking about asthma, like how big is the asthma market? And how many more people are, like, how many people are you adding? Like 10,000 more people a year get diagnosed with asthma, or what is the percentage of new customers that are coming online?
Right, so we find that it's 25 million within our market today. Now, this will grow as time goes on, and being that we have so much pollution and all these other things, we're finding that people are actually we're having increasing rates. So it wouldn't necessarily be the bell curve that you would imagine you would have. It's more skewed towards the left, right? So you would have more consumers growing every day. So with this, we'd find that it would be around 1.5% of our current market. So that would bring us to around 375,000 people growing in our market every year.
And we also have opportunities, not just in asthma, because we can expand into other respiratory problems such as emphysema, COPD. So we have immense opportunities with INNOAIR, not just for asthma. So it would be asthma cases, but all the other respiratory problems and medicinal devices that we can add on that can help us get our name out there and produce brand loyalty.
Another question I had is I saw on the breakdown doctor's offices and the CMO is going to take care of selling to doctor's offices. I'm curious, and I don't know the answer to this, but do you have to give doctors kickbacks? So if it's $100, you have to give the doctor 20 of it or something?
So similar to like a financial advisor with fiduciary responsibility, if you give kickbacks to a doctor, you'd almost find that the doctors wouldn't be really working in your best interest anymore. So with this, we find that we wouldn't need to really be giving the doctors any incentive. We find that being that we're going to local doctors, we'd be finding that they have a more personal connection to their patients. And with this, we'd be finding that our doctors would want to give their patients a product that truly helps them with the problems that they've been having.
But is this doing that? I mean, I challenge that premise because, again, to me, this is a vanity thing. I get it, and I'm not saying it's not a good product or it is a good product. What I am saying is, explain to me, if I don't buy this, other than some kid on the playground might make fun of my son or daughter, which let's put that aside, understood, okay? Which I have issue with that as well. But this, am I going to have any better of a medical-related value add by this in any way? Yes or no? Just yes or no?
So we're not looking towards.
I understand. I'm not saying you are, but I just
Sure.
want to for clarity. Then the second question I would have is, you're saying we're going to save all this plastic and all these things. So you showed me what, it goes in and so forth, but I don't know what I'm really saving. Like, how much money is a current product on the market without all the bells and whistles?
So if you, without insurance, if you were to go over to Walgreens and purchase something, it would be around $20.43.
So then, what part of that are you replacing in your $10?
We're replacing the steel actuator. Now, one thing to notice with this is that our distribution costs will go down substantially, right? So right now, it comes with the actuator and that medical canister inside every time. And this makes it a lot more expensive for that insurance company to be able to get it to you. Now, with this product, we'd be able to streamline that process and simply only have those medical canisters be distributed to you, and that will substantially lower our distribution costs.
Yeah, lower your distribution costs, but the big pharma company that's making 80% margins on every single product sold, that you want to take part of their revenue and make 60%, 40% of it,
Right.
Why should they partner with you?
So for this, we're finding that we're not partnering with a company that already has a large share of the market, right? So something like GSK that's already controlling the market, we would not be in any way we wouldn't be trying to approach them and taking their business. We're trying to approach a company like Sanofi or a company like Eli Lilly and Company that doesn't have market share within this industry and would like to join this industry. Now, something to note as well is that we wouldn't necessarily need to partner with these three companies. They are optimal partners as they have the infrastructure necessary within our region, but there are a plethora of other companies that we could look to join in with to be able to, again, make sure that we have a successful future.
Right, and you're giving them a competitive advantage, especially when you go to a company that's not already in this space and wants to get into it. So you're giving them a competitive advantage for them to stand out and make their mark in the space.
Yeah, so I wanted to understand better the selling cycle here. Who are you actually selling to, and at what point does that party that you're selling to actually pay you? I'm a bit lost on exactly how the revenues flow into your business relative to all the different stakeholders that you need to be partnered with to get the canister and the case into the hands of a consumer.
So primarily we are marketing to the children to go to their parents, and we're also marketing to their parents as well. So we have
But they're paying who?
So they're paying the local pharmacy.
So they're paying a retailer.
Right.
Okay.
That will be receiving our product from the joint venture between us and that other
So
company.
the retailer pays the joint venture for the whole product, everything from the medicine to the can to the canister to everything, that's packaged.
Right.
And then ultimately then you're receiving the funds from who?
So we are receiving funds from the local pharmacy that we'd be working with, that we'd be selling to.
Said another way, your product is $20, you said, or $16?
Right.
How much money do you make on the $16? All in.
So all in, we'd be making around $6.40, as you see from there.
$6.04. So I think ultimately what you're actually displacing, the more I think about it, you're displacing whoever the pharmaceutical company's packaging provider is today. Okay? So if you think about that as your main displacement point, your main competitor, what stops that packaging player today, who is not Sanofi, not Johnson & Johnson? There are companies out there, hundreds of millions, billion-dollar businesses that just do medical packaging. What stops them from basically making this?
So basically, what we're doing right now is we're in the process of filing for a provisional patent. So mentioning professional fees to hire an intellectual property attorney, and in real life, actually, we are filing for a provisional patent for design and utility to protect the stainless steel actuator.
And that doesn't exist today amongst the
No,
large
no.
medical.
And while it seems like an intuitive product that someone would have patented by now, you don't find it on the market today, and it's definitely something that needs to be done. Now, one thing we'll note with this is that this does sometimes come down to the previous worries about sanitation, but being that we're using stainless steel, we'd be able to sanitize this very effectively and very efficiently to be able to, again, make sure that we're providing a better product without any health concerns.
All right, judges, I believe it's
I just
time.
have one quick question. On the three customizations, how did you come up with that design to attract a 13 and 17-year-old?
So we did look at a lot of iPhone cases that are on the market today. Now we look towards having 3 designs. With our signature blue case design that I talked about, that would be gender neutral, right? So we'd be able to attract both males and females within our target demographic. Now with our carbon black, that would be more skewed towards our male demographic, and the Mont Black, or the marble case, would be looking towards, again, that female demographic.
And that being said, that's not stopping people from purchasing each other
Right.
and interesting actually.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.